Well, I was over in Kent and they had parking meters.
I'm okay.
That's what my wife told me today. She said, I'm talking to her
Yeah.
about these 30-minute parking
I,
spaces. And she
I
said,
am
well,
pretty sure
in
that,
Kent, they've got meters everywhere.
Yes.
You have that? Okay, thank you.
And-
That's that.
Did you hear the, and they have fines big enough to deter people from,
I
yeah,
have not
a
even
10
got a chance to look at it yet.
$10 fine isn't anything.
Yep, I'm up first. All right, if I could have everyone's attention, I'm going to call to order the Community and Economic Development Committee meeting. Just because we have everyone here, and I don't see the point of talking about this and possibly at committee of the whole. I'm asking that all council participates in my committee meeting today. I think everyone's feedback's important, so as we go through this. So the first item on my agenda is the Main Street Ravenna request. And I kind of wanted to review a couple things. I know we had asked some questions of both Main Street and the Chamber, which I'm really trying to separate from each other, but they're on the agenda on the same day, so it's really hard to separate them from each other. I have met with both Main Street and Chamber to kind of go through their proposals, to talk about future planning, to talk about, their plans. And one of the things that I think is really missing is we hear from them, and we hear from them sporadically, but there's nothing on a consistent basis. And I think that would be super helpful for us as a council if both Main Street and the Chamber, we have scheduled quarterly where they come in to the Community and Economic Development Committee and just report to council what they're working on, what they're doing, what our money's being spent on, what things look like for them. So I talked to Bill and Ryan both, and they both agreed that that would be a great idea. I think sometimes we forget if we're not reminded of things. So there's so much going on in our lives and so much going on with council to have that quarterly reminder, as well as those report backs from liaisons. I know Rob had talked about being a liaison for Main Street. I know Dennis does go to the chamber meetings, but if he's not able to go, I'm willing to go. So to have someone to be able to report back so that we know as a council what's going on a month-to-month basis, not on a yearly basis of what's going on with these organizations. So that was something that we did speak of. The other thing too, and for some odd reason, I really do struggle with the difference between the organizations, and I always have since before I was even on council. So kind of reminding us that Main Street's focusing on the revitalization of our downtown, focusing on economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization, and the Chamber is focusing on improving businesses in Ravenna, emphasizing economic, civic, commercial, cultural, industrial, and educational interests of the areas. So they are different organizations. My plan is as they're coming and reporting quarterly, that they're not coming the same meeting. Let's have different conversations. A big difference between the two, the Chamber has membership fees. Main Street doesn't. Financially, that is a big difference. We did ask for and you do have, Tammy, thank you for providing this, for how much we have donated or given to the organization since 2018, and it has been a very large hike. I do recognize that. So 2018 to 21, it was $5,000, and then in 22 we gave a 200% increase to $15,000. Hindsight right now, I look at that, that's not a lot of money, especially in the world that we're in. After that, it bumped up. It was 15 for 2 years. Then it went to 20, then it went to 30, and now we're where we're at. So yes, from 22 to 26, it has increased dramatically. However, I feel really strongly, and this is for both organizations, that they're doing their best and doing a great job at doing what they need to support our city, to bring people into our city, businesses into our city, and to make our city a better place, period. This is something that we cannot do on our own as a smaller city. We do not have the capacity to do this. We need these organizations to survive, and we need these organizations to do well so that we as a city can do better. So first, Main Street. So in our packets, there's a letter from Dennis, our economic developer, about his support for Main Street. And really, truly, his plan is to, when I met with him, is to really kind of work with Main Street to support him with economic development. Dennis cannot do it all. He is getting rather busy. To have the Main Street there to provide that support is super important to Dennis. This is something that he shared and has shared with us moving, in the letter. Hiring another person to do economic development would cost a substantial amount of money compared to a donation or to what we give to Main Street to be able to provide their service, what they're doing, and then have that person support Dennis. We currently don't have someone running Main Street because they're waiting to see what's going to happen financially, which I don't blame them. I think it's going to be really difficult to find someone to do part-time for Main Street, or at the rate that they have now, to find someone good to provide a good service to the city. So that's in here, as well as the resolution that was made in support of Main Street. This was in 17, so this was back before I was on council. So I don't know who was on council at this time. I know Amy was, Rob was, but this was just, that we are going to provide that support to Main Street. Main Street, issues, concerns. We'll do that one first. And anyone, please, because we do have only half an hour, so I want to just get her done.
So I guess from being on it, since from the beginning, I hadn't really seen anything new that Main Street brought as a festival in the downtown that wasn't already started or somebody else had started. I look at other communities and I see things that their Main Street does and brings people in the downtown, but since they've started, I have not seen that much of a change personally. And that was some of the feedback that I have received from people who were once involved or in the community. That is my big concern is there going to be accountability? What is this person that they hire? Are you going to have a stronger accountability on what you're expecting them to do? And is it going to be somebody that if you don't see what is expected from them, is this going to continue? Or is this salary just going to blow through and no results for our downtown? So that's a question.
And I will say that I really do feel you get what you pay for. And if we're paying $40,000 for someone to run an organization like this, that's what we're going to get. So if we can in fact attract someone that has experience in this before and has done this before and is familiar with it, there is probably going to be more growth. Does anyone from Main Street want to comment on that? I'm looking or is that, yeah.
I think a couple of things. First, in terms of events and bringing people downtown, we've done a number of those, including Art on Main, which is a big summer event for us. We've also did our Winter Writing Festival in February. We also did, we had several other ones that we're not doing right now because we were doing those, and when we began with them, we got a lot of good feedback in, especially the Winter Writing Festival. The last couple of years, we'd have 4 people in a workshop instead of 12. So for us, it was very difficult to do that. The other thing that makes it difficult is to try to do other things. People don't realize that we gave money grants for facade work out on 3 businesses. They don't realize that we did stuff on the Township Park this year or last year. They don't realize the stuff we do with the murals and that type of stuff. I think part of our issue is we don't get the word out on what we've done. That was a criticism we got from Heritage Ohio as well. So I think that's one of the ways we can rectify that is by coming in quarterly and talking to you about where we are and what we're doing. So I think that'll help answer that. But we have done a number of things in terms of events, that people just don't seem to understand. The Savory Suite that we did a while ago was a fantastic event, and we hope to do that. We're trying to do that again this year. We weren't last year, but this year we're trying again to do that. So I think we've got some of that stuff handled and trying to work through that. I appreciate your comment, and I think you're right. People don't realize what we've done and what our plans are and where we're going.
And I think part of that accountability is by having Main Street come and talk with council quarterly instead of once a year. We can ask questions, we can get information, we can ask, why they're doing something a certain way, and have that conversation there instead of waiting for when the ask comes.
With the work that you did on the township, that is township property, did they contribute any funding to you?
What they did is they contribute the people to put the pergola up and to lay we pay for the cement work, but they were there helping with that, and they also put the pergola up for us.
Okay.
Kind labor.
I have a question. Do you have somebody in mind for this position?
No.
Okay.
I will tell you right now, we started to advertise for it last year as soon as Arison left. And as we took a look at our funding and realized if we brought him in now, he's going to have to start, he or she will have to start really worrying about, am I going to have a paycheck coming up, in 6 months? That's why we're going for this amount of money, to help get started again and help somebody come in that we can have and grow into that site. So no, we don't have anybody at this time. We do have our recommendations in terms of what the requirements are.
Okay. And what are the requirements?
You guys remember the requirements? We want somebody who's involved with, who has done some revitalization work if possible. We want someone who's got some ability in grant writing, fundraising and grant writing. Be nice if they had a good understanding of small town government as well. Event planning. That's why they're back there. I'm like a little.
No, it's good. I'm glad you guys are here, yeah.
And to clarify, this is for 2 years you're asking for.
We are
this.
asking for 2 years.
I think maybe if I looked at the accountability piece, that's the only thing that would give me pause. Like 1 year would make sense to then review it and then go forward. But, and I know I've discussed this with you, Mr. Barber, so the comprehensive master plan, there is an awful lot that, that we would like Main Street Ravenna and also the Chamber of Commerce to be involved in. And I think that if we're going to levy that type of responsibility and leadership onto those organizations, that we should also fund it. As a teacher, there's nothing we hate more than mandates that are unfunded. So, and it happens all the time, right? Where there's the expectation piled on, but with not the resources extended to back it up. So, and I also think about one of the things that attracted me to living in Ravenna in the first place, and it was the different downtown events and the festivals. So I do think that brings a lot of positive attention to the city. But I don't know. My only comment is, as far as accountability goes,
Sure.
I don't know how I would feel about the 2 years versus the 1.
Mrs. West?
Yeah.
I have a couple comments.
Sure.
When this request came to us, one of the things that I did is, as you've reviewed already, looked back over the history of the request from 2021 to 2025. And as you reviewed, our donation to them has increased from 5,000 to 30,000, which is a 6-fold increase over 5 years. And from 2024 to 2025, it increased $10,000, and then we're having a request now for it to double from $30,000 to $60,000. These increases can almost be described as breathtaking in their amounts. I mean, in their percentages, but not their amounts. So $30,000, as you said, is in our $30 million budget next to nothing. So I did have some concerns about that, but I optimistically look forward to this money being a good investment, and I'm not against it going forward. I am, Carmen, a little bit different on my thought on it, is I prefer to, if we're going to do it for a couple years rather than every year we have to make a decision on we're going to fund, are we going to go up, or we're going to go down. So overall, I would say my view on it is it's percentage-wise, it's a huge increase. And are we going to expect these big of increases every year now, that we've gone from 10,000 in one year to doubling in another year? What's the request going to be in a future year? It's just a question.
Have we thought about just doing 50,000 and then the following year 60,000 to see with that room for option?
So I guess here, my concern is, in kind of what you're saying, as far as the accountability goes, if we do it for 2 years, it allows for them to possibly find someone. They know they have a job for a couple of years, so they can really put in their energy and their passion into this and really do something good for our city. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I think we need to give it a chance. And again, I think with Dennis saying this is something that really could support him with economic development, that it was helpful with me in making my decision.
So the budget is we have 40,000 in the budget is what already been budgeted, so you would have to.
It is not budgeted yet. No, right now it's just the 30,000 that's budgeted for each of them from last year.
That's kind of a temp.
And in talking with Tammy, we do have the capacity. We do have the capacity to give Main Street what they're requesting. So, members of the committee, are we okay with moving this forward to committee of the whole for Main Street? I'm okay.
Yes.
You can move it forward.
Okay. All right, so, go
So
ahead.
so the committee of the whole is following this meeting.
Correct.
It's not on the agenda for tonight,
Oh, I thought it was on the agenda for tonight. Okay.
but we can add it. So
Yeah.
I'm asking if you want it to be added
Yes,
to
please.
tonight's committee.
I would like it to be added to tonight's committee. We're talking about it anyways. Thanks, Bill. Yeah.
Thank you.
Shifting focus. Look at that, 15 minutes and 15 minutes. That's what we're going to do here. So I had the opportunity to sit and talk with Ryan today to kind of go through some of our concerns that we had brought up at last month when she spoke. And it really wasn't concerns. It was just kind of thoughts that we had. And one of the major things that we did talk about, again, was that reporting back, that accountability, that let's come quarterly and talk about what we're doing. So then we kind of know what's going on with the money that we're spending and what's going on in our community. And Ryan was absolutely there for it. Again, to be able to share what's going on is important. We also talked about the scholarship piece that they had presented. And I mean, this is it's up to all of us for sure. But, you know, we talked about that additional scholarship money, you know, to just, when that's occurring, allowing those students and notifying those students and throughout that event that they're partnering with the city on this, that's where the money's coming from, that it's not chamber money. So that was something that we talked about, and Ryan was great with that. Absolutely great with that. So we also talked about, I know their membership increase went up, their membership ask went up this year as far as financially, plus their membership is going up this year. They're seeing numbers higher than they have. And so she said, and this is great, their future goal is to stop asking the city for money at some point, to be able to rely on membership and fundraising to be able to fund. Is it going to happen next year? No, but that's something that I know they're really working on. We also talked about the launch pad and having this, you know, the businesses in the chamber space and how, you know, that does cost money for that to happen. So Ryan's going to keep track of that and even is looking at moving forward, having a small fee for someone to have their business there so that way they are contributing and helping with those bills. Plus, I mean, that's like to start out. So those are things that they're looking at. We also talked about going forward, and this is her words, evaluating what's worth time and energy. So after events are happening, after things are happening, really talking to the board to see, did it work? Why didn't it work? And is it worth our time and energy to do this again? To kind of see what events are, so do we think that the Raven Awards, absolutely, that is something. The business thing that we did over the weekend, yes, absolutely. Does that Did that make them money? No, but it certainly got a lot of businesses a lot of attention. So kind of looking at those things moving forward to seeing what's working and what's not. We talked about just the importance of that, like data-driven, and I know there's a couple members on council that's important to them. So having that information so that as those decisions come along, they know what needs to be done and not done. So they are asking for 40, and I'm okay with that. After talking with Ryan today, I think they have a lot of really great ideas. We talked about, making that launch pad a little bit more, and bringing in professionals in marketing, financing, insurance to help expand and educate these businesses that are coming in so that they could stay. The other thing too is looking to see, can a business, when in fact is it successful? Ryan, when she spoke to us, she said it was successful when they moved to another space. To me, it's successful when it's sufficient on its own for a year downtown, and no one's had to help fund that rent, and they're still making, bringing in an income. So we had that conversation today, and she heard me on that. So I think, for me, I'm good with moving forward with the 40.
Yeah, one thing with the chamber, you always see them visibly.
Yep.
So, they're very, Ryan does do a great job with her social media, and with the events that she does, there's always a lot of coverage. So there's really, people know what's going on. So, I'm in full support of the chamber.
Anybody else? Tim?
I'm in full support of the chamber too. Just one of the questions that I had, and you've addressed it a little bit, was during the presentation last time they were here, they talked about that they were proposing to increase their scholarships from 1,500 up to 5,000. And when you looked at us giving an additional 10,000 to them, that more or less looked like 3,500 of our $10,000 was going to scholarships for them. And although scholarships are a wonderful thing, I don't know if that's what the city wants to put their emphasis on in supporting Chamber of Commerce. Scholarships are great, but why would we be giving city money to give scholarships? So I did have a concern about that. You talked with the chamber about it, expressed our concerns. But with that, the $10,000 increase is okay. I'm in support of it.
Right.
So the 5,000 carve out for scholarships, that's what you're concerned about?
I was concerned that as you look at it, they want to increase their scholarships from 1,500 to 5,000. That's a $3,500 increase in it, and we're giving $10,000, and it appears that,
We're giving 40,000.
yeah, but additional. Additional, yeah.
Just for the
And that's what it looked like to me, that we're funding the additional scholarships.
Well, we are, because in their budget, they carved out $5,000 from the 40,000 specifically for that. If that's objectionable, I have a suggestion. The committee can do what it wants, or the council can do what it wants, and it can just give them the 40,000, that's fine. If there's an issue with the pass-through of the scholarships, one thing we could do is allocate the $5,000 out of city funds. They can conduct the scholarship competition as they normally do, and the funds would just be given as scholarships directly from the city.
I will add that in talking today, that, one of the reasons that they wanted to increase the scholarships was in our comprehensive plan, there is the point for, see, I do listen, I do. Was to work on the youth leadership piece, and that is something that they're really trying to focus on. And the purpose of the scholarships was to try to attract youth to participate in the programming. So that kind of went hand in hand. So to work on the comprehensive plan, it aligns with it.
No, and I'm not in any way opposed to the scholarship idea. I think it's a great idea. But I'm just saying, if there's concern about the way the money is being managed, we could do the same thing and just allocate the money city and offer the money directly from the city instead of from the, but either way, I'm just saying if that's a concern, that's another alternative which would have amount to the same thing.
I mean,
Well,
go ahead,
if I
Tyler,
can
yeah.
jump in, regarding this, I do have some kind of thoughts. It's like, even if we are putting scholarship money towards students and getting them involved with the program, like, that's nice in itself, but where does that money functionally go? It's, you know, I'm assuming it's going to universities and colleges for their education, but will that student come back and live in Ravenna? Like, is that investment actually staying in the community we're trying to build towards? And I feel
I
like
don't
if
know
we
we
want
can
to.
make that
I
commitment.
know, I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying.
you can't guarantee that.
Yeah, exactly, but, so that's saying that that's the risk that we take. It's not like the person that might be awarded actually comes back to Ravenna and starts a business, which would be fantastic if we could do that, but I think that there's a little bit of a missed opportunity between the students and the chamber, and I think that's regarding like your membership, because like, think about how many employers that you work with that are saying like, hey, we need people with these type of skills, we need people that can handle even clerical things, like being a clerk might not be the most exciting thing to deal with paperwork, but the role that you have is, you know, it's very people-based, and you're doing essential functions to keep an organization. Like, if you think about, like, even class officers, just as simple as a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, that's a learning opportunity just to learn how groups can function, how to responsibly manage those organizations. And so I think that we could partner with the school district to help, you know, kind of all together put programming available so that kids can get an education that shows them that they can get a job in this community at one of these businesses from the chamber, and that they can have a good life in that way. So I think that there's some opportunity there.
And if I could just add in, that's exactly what the Ravenna Youth Leadership Program is about, is to get those kids another avenue to try to show them like what you can do within your own community, within your own hometown, that this Ravenna is a great place to call home and to stay and to potentially gain employment. And so that's, with this being the first year of doing it, actually even before the comprehensive plan has been approved, technically, I think that that's exactly the direction that we're looking to take, is to try to spread that information out there. Got out to like the Shepherd's House to volunteer there, how they could actually get into volunteering as well within the community, which I was amazed that day that we did go out to the Shepherd's House. Out of like the 20 kids that were there, I would say half raised their hands saying that they wanted to volunteer there. So it's starting that message or that educational piece to be able to get that information out there. And again, I'm a big proponent on working with the schools as much as I possibly can, because, not to sound cliche, but our children are our future. And, you know, we need to get them involved as much as possible. So any opportunity that I do have to be able to work with the youth, I jump on that. Day of service, same thing, you know, definitely.
I have a question about the scholarship. So
Sure.
the students that receive it, only because this is fresh in my mind from my youngest daughter. So she got the Chamber of Commerce scholarship from Rootstown
Okay.
because she went to biomed. But what they did was she told them she was going to Ohio State, and then once she started, then they sent it to the financial aid office at the college. She didn't get like a check for $1,500.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. There's no way I'm giving a check out to.
Okay.
I mean, no way.
Yeah.
No way. No.
Yeah,
No. It's written on the actual certification or certificate saying that, you know, once you get
Yeah.
your class schedule, your class ID or student ID, send me the bursar's information, office's information. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how, it was coming back to me. I remembered that's what she had to do.
Yeah.
So I know we only have a couple minutes left. We've talked about this one. Is this committee okay with moving this forward?
Yes.
Yes, and we're okay to add it to committee of the whole?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Then I'm going to have to move my other item to next month. I'm going to adjourn Community and Economic Development at 5:58 PM.
Okay, before we begin the committee of the whole,
not doing it.
the mayor and I are going to switch seats so that he'll be front and center to give his address. So I will move over there and convene the committee of the whole, and then the mayor will give his address.
Good job, Christina. Tim, glad you could make it.
Well,
How's your trip?
Far away.
pardon?
It's okay.
Carry like
Michael?
Thing was for small caps.
Can I put this on you?
You send an email.
Small cap.
Which one do you like it on, the left or the right?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll amend it. Where'd everybody go? Is that- Have to get ice out here. Christina,
Is that gonna be okay?
How are we gonna anchor this thing?
Stick this in your pocket. Will that work in your pocket? Are your glasses on?
Yeah, worried about this. This is what has to be. Testing.
Hold it.
All right, just leave it there.
Is it okay? Do you want me to stick it where your glasses?
Yeah, that's fine. So I can have my arms free. Okay. Is this one on?
Yep. I'm gonna put the time up for you.
Okay.
all right, I'd like to convene the Ravenna City Council Committee, the whole meeting for March 23rd. First thing we're going to do is give Mayor Seaman the opportunity to give us a State of the City address. So, Mayor Seaman, the floor is all yours.
Okay, well, it's going to be lengthy, but we'll do our best to keep up with this. First thing I wanted to start off with is something that Chelsea came across, and probably you folks sitting up here have seen it before, but it's an article that involves the city of Ravenna. And it was kind of a bolt from the blue. It came out, but I want to read part of this to you. I won't read the whole thing, but you'll get the flavor with it. It's from a group called Island.com. And it says, whenever you feel like escaping from to a charming retreat with unique experience, you can always plan a getaway to Ravenna. No, not the overlooked Italian city, but the city tucked into northeast Ohio, located in Portage County. This small city has a vibrant downtown scene with shopping, dining, entertainment, while preserving its 1800-era architecture. Main Street is dotted with local businesses, from thrift shops, gift stores, to wineries, and dessert spots. While you're in the area, you can catch a flick at the local movie theater, grab yourself a much-needed cup of joe. Downtown Ravenna is also where the local, this part is obsolete, with hot air balloon. A festival takes place here. Every September, the sky is covered with the kaleidoscope object, along with a series of events back on the land. Visitors can go for helicopter rides, and this is all, what you're hearing there is the balloon affair. But as you go on, Ravenna is only a short drive from the West Branch Park. This person incorporates this, and you can pitch a tent at Michael J. Kerwin Reservoir at the park and go for a boating trip or a cool dip in the water or try your luck at fishing. Those who have packed, this study shows, can wander the trails and discover the lush forest and meadows surrounding the area. Ravenna is located 30 minutes from Akron and under the radar city, full of urban and outdoor activities. For accommodations, you can book a stay at the Rocking Horse Inn, which is located conveniently downtown. To begin exploring Ravenna on the right foot, grab a cup of coffee at the highly rated Bean and Baker. From coffee flights to classic orders, this place also serves sandwiches, breakfast bagels, and pastries. One happy customer on Google review claimed the coffee was one of the best lattes I've ever had. Make sure you can find your way to Guido's Pizza and Catering for a delicious lunch. This place lets you build your own pie or opt for the regular menu. The lasagna comes highly recommended by several reviewers in the area. The chicken parmesan is also a favor. Don't skip dessert. The tiramisu and cannolis are favorites. They go on to mention the West Street Winery and as a place to hang out. Yeah, I'm going to stop there, but what was nice about this is if you get the chance, go ahead and get it and listen to it. It's a very positive article about the city of Ravenna. And it came as kind of a bolt from the blue, and Chelsea disseminated that around. But for what we take for granted, fresh eyes come in, and we don't realize how much we've done to enhance this, and not just city council and the mayor, but all of the groups. The Chamber of Commerce is mentioned in this also. And I think that in this day and age, it's very easy now to get frustrated with the condition that's going on in this country at this point in time. And it kind of overwhelms us a little bit. And what we need to do is celebrate the good things that we do and work on the things that we need to work on. Some of the other things that I did not bring the flyer in for this, but as you'll recall, we were also in the movie making business, thanks to Chelsea, and she's still lining up some groups to come in here and film some movies this summer also, which I think you may be in one with that. She's one of the best cheerleaders we have for the city of Ravenna, even though she lives in Manaway. But we're glad to have her. But think about the things we've done. The Pocket Park, it was very well received, and people that go there. I have a good friend who first time he went over there, didn't realize how nice that was. He said it was almost a spiritual thing for him with that, and he's a longtime Ravenna person. Some of the other things that have been positive that we need to embrace, we have the JED with the Ritztown. The Historical Society is also one that I think of because they have agreed to take donations so that we can begin the repair on the chapel at the cemetery. And they do it quite willingly. And that's a few of the things that we need to celebrate the good stuff that we do. And of course, we've got stuff coming up this summer with the 250th anniversary. And I look for that to be spectacular if it ever quits snowing. I'm going to start by reading the different divisions of the city have turned in reports for the year end. And some are lengthy and some aren't. But I'm starting with the police department. They're a group that their patrol division remains the largest operational unit within the city police department, consisting of 22 full-time sworn peace officers and one-time part-time, some of them use a very small font with this. Basically, it's discussing the number of people that we have in that. The patrol division is responsible for responding to calls for service, ensuring roadway surfaces, and locating and apprehending individuals who violate the law. Officers respond to a broad range of incidents each year, from minor services such as vehicle lockout to serious felony situations. It goes on to talk about that the police department is arranged to be proactive rather than reactive to the citizens of the city of Ravenna. They are always looking for the opportunity to work with people when they're not in trouble. That's part of the chief's plan for proactive use. The officers responded to 17,104 calls for service. The most frequent calls types include suspicious persons or vehicles, traffic accidents, domestic-related incidents, and theft offenses. The officers issued 592 traffic citations and made 863 arrests, including 139 felony arrests and 724 misdemeanors. These numbers reflect both proactive reinforcement and the department's responsiveness to the needs of the community. Part of the police department is the communications, and that is a group that handles the dispatching. There are 10 full-time dispatchers, 1 part-time dispatcher, and 1 full-time dispatch coordinator. All of the personnel are certified through the PowerPhone and are responsible for receiving and processing all 911 emergency calls. The center handled 22,698 calls for service and processed a total of 46,070 incoming calls. In addition to dispatching for the Ravenna Police Department, which generated 17,194 calls for service. Centers also dispatch. We also dispatch for Marlborough Township, the police department, and multiple fire and EMS agencies across Portage and Stark counties. That goes on to it's moved to the Detective Bureau. Detective Bureau is 1 supervisor and 2 full-time detectives and 1 part-time. While detectives primarily work during the regular day hours, they always remain on call to respond to major incidences. On average, each detective manages approximately 30 active cases at any given time, reflecting the significant workload and complexity of, let me skip over that part. The Detective Bureau conducted 106 criminal investigations, executed 40 search warrants, investigated 32 sex-related offenses. Several significant investigations were successful conducting during the year. Following the closure of, excuse me. The Ravenna Detective Bureau assumes more of a proactive role in narcotics enforcement. And the gist of this is with the disbandment of the area drug force, our detectives picked up that place, and they're working hard with that. They ended up with $7,000 in illicit drugs, with this. They're kind of jack of all trades, and the group that he has together is very solid. Let's see. They also keep track of the evidence, and there's more than 11,000 pieces of evidence in storage area. Additionally, there are over 300 items were processed for lawful destruction in accordance with the department policy and statutory requirements. That's talking about the drug traffic. The Bureau also expands its digital forensic capabilities. In 2025, the department acquired a new forensic computer system, significantly enhancing the ability to conduct advanced mobile device examinations. Their capabilities were instrumental in investigating 5 overdose deaths in which the victims were unable to provide information. Through detailed digital analysis, detectives were able to identify responsible parties and pursue the criminal charges with that. We also have people in the police department that are members of the Metro SWAT team. 3 Ravenna officers are currently assigned to the Metro SWAT team and collectively completed more than 200 hours of specialized training during the year. This training encompassed high-risk entry techniques, hostage rescue operations, and advanced tactical response scenarios designed to prepare for critical incidents requiring specialized skills and conduct. The interesting thing about this also is they bring that information back to the city and share it with the other officers and provide some training with some of these difficult areas. One of the favorites that people like about the police department is the canine units. We have 3 canines. Everybody knows who Tucker is, and they all want to meet him when they see him. He's the dog that's there to work with people to help calm them down and be reassuring. The other 2 dogs are trained to sniff out narcotics, and they're also used to capture people at the same time. So Tucker's the one you want to see when you're out, because the other dogs might take exception to you with that. And something that's become very prevalent is wellness. And the police department has developed a wellness program for their officers. And this is common now as an important ingredient in most places, not just with police departments, but with council people. or citizens. It's a concern. We live, our clientele here in Ravenna, we have people that need help and support, and it's a large number, and they're not well off. And a lot of the people that we're concerned with are senior citizens. Quite often, they struggle and need help from city services that we have and the other service groups that are located in Ravenna and provide service for these sorts of things. Let me see. The records department is another part of this, and it's one of the real problems that we have is the storage space that this takes up. But the administrative assistant handles all of that at this point in time, and provides help to all of the officers or the detectives, and keeps track of what is going on there. I think I'll stop with them at that point and move on to the fire department. They must be better off. This is a pretty nice folder here with that. Okay, the Ravenna Fire Department for the year-end report. The Ravenna Fire Department responded to 3,479 incidents in 2025. Approximately 80% of these incidents were emergency medical services response, and the following is the breakdown of it. They have three different decisions they have to make as to what stage and what kind of care they have to give. Basic life support, that was 1,509 people in that area. The advanced life support had 1,382, and the advanced life support level 2 had 23 people in it. And our department response to 742 fire-related incidents. Of these, 9 working structure fire incidents within the city. We also provide mutual aid for additional 14 working fires in our neighboring communities. The personnel our department completed its first full calendar year having 7 personnel per shift. With the addition of personnel in staffing, our department was able to increase our minimum manning from 4 to 5 personnel per day. The only time our staff would drop below 5 was due to the utilization of personal time and/or sickness or injury leave. Increasing the department staffing levels allows us to provide the city of Ravenna and its residents with greater resources that are needed to perform more proficient fire grounds tasks. These tasks include, this is hose advancement, fire attack, search and rescue, overhaul, and ventilation. I'm not quite sure what that is. And water supply and incident command. Personnel changes that they had last year, one paramedic fireman resigned, and then we hired a person to replace that person in August. The fire department staffing in this order: there's 1 chief, 3 captains, 3 lieutenants, 15 firefighters, 1 fire safety inspector, and administrative assistant. The certification levels for these 23 full-time firefighter paramedics, 11 state certified fire safety inspectors, 23 centered hazardous material operations level personnel, 2 Portage County hazard material team members, 4 fire investigators, 5 state certified fire instructors, 5 state certified EMS instructors, 6 members of the Portage County dive team, 2 members of the Portage County USAR team, and 2 members of the Portage County hazmat training. The firemen spend a lot of time getting training, as do the police department. The training and education, the department conducted the following hours of training: EMS training on duty, 250 hours, EMS training on Portage Medical Center and other locations, 475 hours, fire training on duty, 470 hours, fire training on off-duty, 255 hours, and fire officer leadership, 120 hours. Also, in 2025, Zach Thomas was the first Ohio firefighter to ever complete and graduate from the Indiana Smoke Divers Program. This program is one of the nation's most physically and mentally taxing training a firefighter can endure. In the history of the program, Zach is the 133rd firefighter to ever complete the training. It's really tough to get in that, and that's quite an honor for this gentleman for what he did with that. Grants. They received a $1,000 grant from Swagelok Corporation for the future purchase of departmental supplies and equipment. We received the State of Ohio 2025 EMS grant to the sum of $915, and and received the Department of Homeland Security grant in the sum of $300,809 for the purchase of structural firefighting turnout gear. The apparatus that they have listed here are the various vehicles that they have for the department. I think I'll not read through that whole list. The following have been received or purchased during 2025, and that was two 2025 Ford F-450 ambulance with cot and load systems. A radio communication upgrade, including mobile and portable radios, 12 sets of turnout gear, building improvements including plumbing, sanitary lines and repairs, 2025 Chevrolet Silverado is chief's vehicle, ordering a new engine ladder. Now that sounds small. That's a state-of-the-art piece of equipment. We're waiting on delivery for that, and that was expensive. Overall, talking about fixing the back of the building. We had a situation with this past year with the sanitary lines that run through the main floor of the firehouse. Broke down from age. It was putting off fumes, and it's sewer fumes, and they're not safe to be around. We had to call and someone to come in and fix that, and it was going to take a number of days. We ended up renting a special trailer that allowed for showers and restrooms and that sort of thing, and it was parked in the alley for them to use so that they weren't involved in the building with the fumes. The accomplishments, they added a third ambulance to the fleet for future EMS service, had 100% participation in health screenings and physicals, received multiple grant awards from various entities, completed over 500 hours collectively as a department in training, competed in over 100 fire safety inspections, completed those, completed hydrant flushing and maintenance on all of the city's located hydrants, provided fire safety education in the senior centers and at local schools, provided CPR certification for all city employees, received multi-grant awards totaling over $36,000 for the purchase of future equipment and supplies. The goals they have set is to apply for more grants apply, they're going to apply again for the Homeland Security Assistance to Firefighters, apply to the 2006 Department of Homeland Security. That's the SAFER grant that we've been trying to get for ever since I've been here. Apply for various grants to offset costs from the department's overall budget. Building renovations include improvement to the living areas and exterior features. Can you continue to work towards new safety center for the future expansion of the city safety forces? Work with the administration and council towards future increases in staffing. Stay calm. Purchase of personnel, protective clothing, and other required elements. Continuing to develop health and safety testing for all department members. Provide fire safety training, education information to factories, businesses, and citizens groups within the city, and continuing the growth of the fire code enforcement and plan review. Okay. That takes care of two of the leading contenders that we have. I have a follow-up that was put together at this point in time to give reasons why we're looking at needing new facilities. The current Ravenna Police Department occupies part of the Hatch Safety Building at 220 South Park Way. It was constructed in 1922 and remodeled 3 times during its history here. This building was built to be fireproof with 13-inch concrete and brick walls. A 3-story building. It is served not only as a police department, but also the fire department for a time. The new building to house the police department is required for several reasons, mostly the lack of space for storing evidence, antiquated wiring throughout most of the basement level, the presence of mold and other environmental hazards in the basement, a deficiency in existing electrical systems. Buildings' upkeep costs have continued to rise as many of the this is where it got cute. The building upkeep costs have continued to rise, and as many parts of the station, the youngest being 20 years old, suffered age-related structural deterioration. This is also an insufficient docking area or sally port for the transfer of prisoners, which provides security risk. I remember the fireplace, I'm sorry, the building that the police are in, as a kid, and it wasn't that old. These are different times. I doubt you'll have a hard time finding anywhere in the area that there's a building that's 100 years old that's still in service. And this is full of problems for the police department. The fire department occupies part of it that was built in the 70s. I think it was 1972. It currently lacks space for firefighters to sleep when required to be at the station. A small dorm houses 6 beds when 7 are needed for a full shift. To compensate, a Murphy bed was installed in the fire chief's office, given that the city has a need for and has been given approval for 3 additional firefighters, paramedics, which there's nowhere for them to sleep. The apparatus bay is likewise incompatible with the needs of a growing, heavily utilized fire department. Many vehicles are double parked, and a paramedic unit must be housed at the police department's motor pool, which is 4 blocks away. Most importantly, the building does not have, and indeed, this is where it gets fancy, we don't have a place for a female firefighter. And we are not, if a female firefighter comes and tests and has the highest score, we're not going to, we have to hire her. If that happens, we cannot pass people over because of the insufficient seats of the building with this. So in addition to that particular problem, and that is a problem, currently, firefighters must store clothing immediately next to diesel engines, carcinogen contaminated uniforms, and a maintenance area. It should they wish to work out. There's just no space. We have excellent people. And in all of these places, we have excellent people. This is, they continue, even with these problems, to perform at a high level. And it's really, we need this building so that they can blossom and we can be proud. Every time I drive to Manaway and see the fire station up there, I'm envious with that. I can go to Rootstown, same thing. I'm envious of what they've got down there. I can't help but think we're the only place around that has a building that's 100 years old that we're still using with this. The City Hall occupies a nearby building originally constructed as an A&P grocery store, which I was in when I was young. I'm not quite sure where they kept the fish with that, but the store was built in the 1930s. The City Hall contains outdated electrical, plumbing, and HVAC systems. It is grossly inefficient in design and functionality while continuing to accrue increased cost for the uptake. To this day, I can't figure out where the heat comes from, and it's not a convenient place. It's still functional for us, and it doesn't look bad, and they made that particular comment. Benefits to public access and viability for a new complex are numerous. The fire department is not currently ADA compliant. Should an employee have a disability that allows them to perform other jobs besides firefighting, there is no handicapped accessibility way to reach the second floor office. Likewise, tours of the station are very popular as a way of engaging kids and adults are nearly impossible due to the limited accessibility. The police station, although equipped with an elevator, does not have facilities to process or assist a person confined in a wheelchair. Quite literally, if someone in a wheelchair is arrested, they would have to be carried up to a short flight of steps through the prisoner door to reach the booking room. There are no public restrooms in the police department, and the waiting area and the lobby has neither heat nor electricity. Simple amenities for those encountering police for the first time: a vending machine, a heated or air-conditioned area for waiting, or a restroom are not possible given the current structure of the building. As it stands now, the police department is not a welcoming environment for anyone who needs to make a police report, speak with an officer, or try to learn about one of the most basic functions of the city. City Hall, while not an eyesore, is likewise not a welcoming building. There is no public restroom or so much as a public meeting place where civilians can learn about their city. The council chambers are likewise has limited seating for community engagement and no facilities for community outreach. Occupying a single floor, several other city departments must use satellite locations, which create a deficiency in the city's ability to work collaboratively with others within itself. This project will create a complex that is functional, efficient, and accessible to all who live and work in Ravenna. It will become a center area for safety, outreach, and engagement. And I think we'll stop with that. The purpose of that being in here is that we need to look at this and have it assessed to the point that that people understand that we're out of touch with these buildings. And it's something that we need to try and take care of. It's a hard time to be doing that. It's with what goes on around us in the country and the state legislators wanting to do away with the property tax. I don't know what kind of an effect that's going to have on us, but it will have an effect. There's no doubt about that. And if that happens, the schools are going to be out of business, as well as all of the townships, unless they come up with some other situation with that. Where's Mr. Finney? I've got yours here. Would you read this to these folks, these fine folks, please? Let's pass it down.
My report's only 12 pages. Just kidding. Accomplishments for 2025 are as follows. The engineering department had another busy year designing and managing nearly $7.5 million of construction projects, of which approximately 40% were grant funded. Paving and sidewalks annual paving program consisted of improvements to approximately 6 lane miles of city streets, which include almost 5 lane miles of asphalt resurfacing and reconstruction with 618 square yards of concrete pavement. The alternate sidewalk program is a cost-sharing sidewalk replacement program that we share with the residents and businesses to the amount of $1,800 for replacing a total of 598 square feet of sidewalks. The program is the city will replace the sidewalk and the resident or business owner pays a third of the cost. This is a construction cost, not an estimated cost, so this is a real cost. Both the 2025 storm improvements and 25 annual pavement contracts constructed or replaced a total of 523 linear feet of storm sewers. These contracts also installed catch basins, replaced catch basins, and rebuilt and adjusted catch basins. The department is currently in the planning phase with MS Consultants for upgrades to the Chestnut Street lift station and a proposed force main sewer line to alleviate sanitary surface overflows and alleviate potential backups in Ward 4 during heavy rain events. The department also assisted the wastewater treatment plant by soliciting for qualifications and collaborating with design consultants regarding plant improvements to the headworks and upgrading the plant's existing hardware and electronic systems. A fire hydrant at Lafayette and Maple was replaced and tied into a larger water line to increase pressure and output. We are continuing to work with ODNR for the complete abandonment of the old Lake Hodgson Dam box culvert drain. We replaced the water system and installed new sidewalks on Spruce from Prospect Street to Walnut Street, Central Avenue, and Chestnut Street to Day and Freedom from Lake Avenue to just north of the railroad tracks. We received an Ohio Public Works Commission grant of $250,000 and a $50,000 no-interest loan for this project. Completed design and specifications for the King Street Water and Sanitary Sewer Project and applied for OPWC grant and is awarded $250,000 grant and a $150,000 loan for this project. This year's project, which will be constructed in '27, would be replacing the water line on North Avenue. Building Department. Building Department's primary focus is adhering to the Ohio Building Code, processing permits, plan reviews, inspections, and zoning reviews. The Planning Commission heard 6 applicants and the Board of Zoning Appeals heard 21 applications. The Design Review Commission worked with Prospectus Architects to draft new guidelines and review Ordinance 1434 along with Historic Sign Code, which was approved by City Council. This year, we saw a total project valuation of nearly $18.4 million of private commercial construction and approximately $3.7 million in residential construction. We continue to identify vacant and blighted structures and seek the court's authorization to demolish these homes with assistance of Portage County Land Bank. Our property maintenance inspectors continue to methodically canvass the city, recording violations, and meeting with residents firsthand for resolve. Should that not work, the issue is turned over to the law director. In total, 989 rental units were inspected. New rental registrations were 50. Renewals were 1,001. Opt-out inspections of 108 units and violations issued were 122. There are currently, well, as of the end of 2025, 43 active property maintenance cases. 137 have been closed. 29 are in the process of going to mediation. In 2026, during 2025, the engineering department is queued to handle approximately $3.5 million in construction, not including the water tank, of which a small portion will be funded from grants and nearly $1.4 million from the paving levy. Both the engineering and building department continue to support economic development within the city, assisting potential new businesses and existing businesses with growth where we can. We supply utility information, land and zoning information, vacant, underutilized buildings, building code support, etc. We continue to work with MS Consultants on the design of the Chestnut Street lift station piping and will begin the process of assembling and request for qualifications for the planning phase of the headworks for the wastewater treatment plant, which is a very large project.
Thank you. I shouldn't say this in front of Mr. Finney, but he does an outstanding job in his position. He's responsible for getting a multitude of grants, and he works well with people. And sometimes it's exasperating, but he's done an excellent job with his department with keeping this city on the go. Thank you for doing that. Jonathan Bender is our IT person, and he has a small list of stuff that was handled here. I'm not going to cover all of it, but there were switches that were changed that have been way overdue in the department. He also has switched us from the desktop the desktop computers, and replaced them with the more portable ones that people are moved away from the desktop, and they want the laptops, and that's what he has done with this. He also talked about House Bill 96, I believe it is, with that, where cities have to present a plan for their cybersecurity. And he has been working on that and working with the people with that. We actually have a program where they're given an opportunity to be tested with that, and that has worked out. Most of our people are very careful about what they do with their computers. They're well aware, especially with the work of this gentleman, that you have to work at cyber security because they're constantly improving their ability to break in, and we have to be more judicious about how we approach that. But that program is in the works with that. Let's see. As he put this year was a busy year for IT, working with many of the other departments to get the upgrades done. Water treatment upgraded their SCADA system to ensure stability and reliability. Wastewater will be completing a study of their data panels, as well as the SCADA system, which has been an interesting process. City Hall, as well as the RAC, also installed new camera systems to protect not only the staff here at the city, but the entire of the safety of residents while at the RAC. These new systems are great, as they have already assisted staff in resolving several issues that we may have seen using the cameras. And 26, the continued focus will be on leveraging our new infrastructure to enhance city operations. This will include not only the new website and app, but a new phone system as well. These new tools will help to enhance communications between departments as well as with the public. I appreciate your patience and cooperation with the staff as these changes are implemented. Everyone's willingness to work together has been key to our continued progress. With that. Parks and Recreation, as you know, Judy retired, and Chris Bundy has taken over the chore of running the whole program for Parks and Recreation. He's got a list here of things. Chestnut Hills Park, significant improvements were made across several park locations. At Chestnut Hills Park, security cameras were upgraded with funding from the Portage Fund, and the community gardens were expanded in partnership with the Portage County Gardeners Club, adding both gardens and flower spaces for residents. So there will be places for residents to grow these things at Chestnut Hill. The city park saw numerous infrastructure improvements, including a new roof on the Tower Lodge and the Cunningham Shelter, both completed by JBL through insurance coverage. Additional enhancements include repainting the skate park ramp and surface, installing a new storm, I'm not sure what that is. It's the swale to direct water. The addition of 3 new pickleball courts, this water problem that they're dealing with up there, it's also covered in another form. We have runoff that runs down the road and goes across, and then it tends to flood the apartments over there. So there's been 2 or 3 things done at the city park to prevent that from happening. The Tower Lodge, the interest has really increased with people getting together for birthday parties or those sorts of things, and they rent that out, and he fully expects that to increase this year. Howard's Woods, they had the property surveyed. There's been some discretion with the gentleman that owns the property, and it comes out onto the running path. We're actually outside of where we should be. So they're surveying that to get that corrected and keeps the man that has all the oil wells around happy with that. In September, the city of Ravenna purchased the Sunbow property. Since the acquisition, security cameras have been installed, and planning is underway to unlock the site's full potential. With its open outdoor area and the possible indoor space, Sunbow has the opportunity to become a premier event venue for the city. The Parks and Recreation Department plans to hold several events at the site beginning in 2026. There's some discrepancies about the purchase of the farm out there in terms of some negative talk about the city making that purchase. As far, they want to blame it on some money that was used from the general fund to close the deal. Now, we only had 2 weeks to get that thing done. And by the way, I'm not the one that instigated this, because I have connections with the Vials. But I did not go out there at all. Council voted to do this thing, and they are looking forward. This site has terrific potential, and people are excited about it that are working with it. The funds that we took out of the from the general fund happened, we had a windfall. We just had a check appear for 400, what's it?
41,000. 441,000.
Yeah. We got a check from the marijuana store for just about that amount. We weren't expecting it, so we put it right back into the general fund. And the Sunbow is part of Parks and Recreation. Some people, I don't know what they thought we were going to do with it, but most of the money to pay for this came out of that budget. And they have a budget just like everybody else is going to. We're going to be improving the budget pretty soon with that. And Sunbow will have to live under that, the budget that we have with that. So I wanted to clear up any misgivings about that, and the general fund was made whole, and we're not getting checks that big, but we're getting checks around $30,000 a month from the marijuana store, and you can't drive, it looks like a used car lot out there. And whenever I drive by, there's always cars there. In addition to that, his recreation program, the program remained a cornerstone of the department's success in 2025. Offerings included youth sports such as the Little Dribblers, soccer, Shooting Stars program, T-ball, softball, coach pitching, enrichment programs like gymnastics, archery clinics, taekwondo, and Safety Town. And the recreation opportunities include summer camp, pickleball clinics, line dancing, crafts, bus trips. Through these programs, we were able to register over 1,000 participants. Community events, Parks and Recs holds several well-attended community events throughout the year, including the Marlene Watt Poker Run, which just run a week or so ago. The Easter celebration, which is coming up in another week or so, and the Halloween drive-through, all of which help bring residents together and foster community pride. The rec continues to thrive, offering more than 20 instructor-led classes each week. 2 new pieces of equipment were purchased, a rowing machine and an ab machine. And the rec has 1,227 active members in 2025. Emerald Lake was another a place that they're responsible for. That's kind of simple out there because we're not allowed to touch anything. It's to walk through and enjoy the nature, but part of the deal of taking that over was that it had to remain as pristine as we can keep it. He did get a group of people, 20 people, to go out and pick up trash and stuff to clean that out. So he has volunteers. I think Chris is going to be a very good employee, and he wants to be successful. He was at Canal Fulton, and he was the only guy that ran their programs down there. So he's got staff help here, so we're looking for great things with this. Economic development, Dennis West is our person in charge of that. And his report, he interacts with the businesses that we have, and he works with the Portage County Development Board. And they go out and visit businesses. They did 28 business visitations in 2025. Let me see. Some of the things that they're working on, they're there to assist business, to bring new businesses into town, and help people that are starting up businesses, giving them advice and sometimes expertise. Additionally, they've been working on an energy efficiency program with local business in Ravenna, and assisting a research and development business in the newly created product that this company came up with. And they are helping them get it to market. He also assisted local businesses in seeking a community grant to assist with renovations. He worked in conjunction with the Ohio EPA for the cleanup of the demolition site on South Chestnut Street. South Chestnut Street is in a number of these papers that I've got. That's been a big project and a big problem. Also, the ownership of that at this point in time still is undetermined at that. But we had quite a bit of money in getting it demolished. But that's also the site where we're trying to fix some of the drainage problems in the Fourth Ward by running a new line that will go directly to the wastewater treatment plant. And we're hopeful with that addition that water will clear more quickly, and some of the flooding that they have in Ward 4 will be abated. He also met with the Korean ambassador, along with LG Chem representatives, to discuss the effect of tariffs on their projects or their work. They also met with Congressman Joyce. See you back there. That's his agent back there. That's River. Okay, and they met with people on the federal level to assist with measuring the impact of tariffs on these types of businesses. What we're seeing with the economic futures, he believes there's been a change away from the actual manufacturing, and it's swung out to more working with people with occupations that require a master's degree, and it's basically research and then application. Wage trends, he's been measuring those for an average annual wage increase. Was 4.4 over the last 4 quarters, and the cost of living index for Ravenna was 4.9. Which is below the national average with this. More focus will be working with West Main Street and Ravenna Chamber to work with building owners downtown to assist with vacant spaces and what is needed to bring these people into our community. And he believes that we need an upgrade of the people that we try to get here with that, and they're going to be working with those two groups to take care of the downtown area here. I always like to point out, because I don't think there's anybody that's run for office they didn't say they were going to fix that and fill the stores. And that goes back a long ways with that. Dennis believes quite strongly that we really need to upgrade the businesses themselves so that they're part of the attraction with that. Now, we have one business that is, is doing well, from what I've been told, and you don't even know they're there. In the old Oak Rubber, which is right behind us, there's a gaming store that's in there with a local owner with that. And when I talked to him, he said they were doing great guns. They have parking. That's one nice thing. They got a lot of parking right there. And it makes it easy. But they say on weekends it's full with that. The water treatment plant, these can be kind of combined. Well, of course, Wilson was in and made presentations to council not too awfully long ago. But her statement says that the city of Ravenna water distribution and water billing and water plant all work together to complete on-site inspections of 368 addresses for backflow compliance and an update on the city's backflow records. The city of Ravenna was aided by Prudentmos, I guess it is, to inspect the hospitals and the industrial parks. What they're talking about, we have to check that there are backflow valves throughout the business city here. And we finally, and it hadn't been done for years and properly. And we put everybody together. It was under pressure, but it all happened in '25, where we got all of them done. And you have to, of course, you're supposed to check it every year. But we farmed out the hospital and those places with people that do this professionally because they're it's amazing the number of outlets that need backflows when you go into a hospital. And we hired them to do the big ones. We took care of the smaller ones with that. At the water plant, she is working to get some of the older equipment modernized and has been working hard to get that taken care of. It's amazing some of the stuff that they were dealing with. We have to keep in mind that these both the wastewater treatment plant and the water plant are in about a 30-year period where for a while, they didn't have to worry about much of anything. But as you get up into the 30th year, this stuff starts to need a lot of attention. And it's not that they neglected it to this point, it wears out. You can only fix it so many times. And so they're going to be involved with first getting a definition of what's going to go on. The wastewater treatment plant is probably leading the way with that. But they all are intertwined with SCADA. With that. Now, this is the one that everybody always wanted to see. Lake Saxon has stocked with rainbow trout, black crappie, and perch, and they'll be delivered probably next week. It's supposed to be in April, and that used to be an event in of itself until we stopped doing it because they line up down the road to get in there to be the first ones to get at the trout with that. I think wastewater treatment plant, I've told you about the big event with them. And part of the utility building, that also is part of the water plant system. The utility building, the meters that we put in that keep track of water use, and if something looks abnormal, they contact the people to tell them they've got a leak. These meters are all functioning well, except for a few, but they're 99.4% solid with that, and that's been a good investment. They've called my house a couple of times. That's what happens when you have a swimming pool with that. But it was nice to know that it's working. It was a good check. Overall revenues increased by 2.6%, and our largest water consumers used more water in 2025 than in 24. Also, more bulk water was sold more than in any year. These are people that have tankers that they fill them up and they fill swimming pools, and there's businesses that need extra water and sometimes use this, but this is turned out to he considers to be an excellent resource for revenues. He also deals with safety, with hazardous materials, and this is an overlap of stuff that I've already told you that was going on, so we won't belabor that. The street department is rather simple. We're beginning the brush and bags pickups, and that you should have received in your water bills. With that starting, I'm seeing people out that nice warm day. Everybody got all the sticks out of their yard, but that they will be picked up according to how they. What ward they're working in. Basically this is repetitive with what they do. The street department is similar to the water groups. In fact, water distribution is a factor in this, and we're actually breaking that out into a separate group of people that work with that. We had a very difficult time, as did everybody else, with that heavy snow, because we had people that a lot of water lines ruptured, failed, and our guys were out in 10 below weather at 4 in the morning working on stuff like this. We have a very dedicated group of people that work at all of these places. I'm proud of that. And here's the one that everybody's been waiting for. It's only one page. But this is from Tammy. Okay. General fund continued its positive growth and 2025, with the municipal income tax receipts once again exceeding both the prior year and the budgeted expectations. The city's annual income tax revenues reached $8,085, and said, well, let's say it's 13 million, almost 14 million at that point in time. This again is in small print, so it's I should pass this off to you and let you.
Want me to, I will.
You want to do that? Just pass that down.
Let me start at the beginning. The general fund continued to positive growth trend in 2025. The municipal income tax receipts grew to the $13,852,656 in 2025, representing a new high and an increase of approximately $553,000 over 2024. Strong revenue performance combined with continued fiscal discipline contributed to maintaining a stable and healthy general fund position throughout the year. As in prior years, general fund expenses for 2025 remained well managed and finished favorably compared to budget. The total general fund expenditures for the year were $9.91 million, reflecting continued efficiencies in department operations and conservative budget practices. The city again experienced favorable results in self-insured healthcare costs, finishing below projected actuarial estimates. The self-insured employer healthcare budgets also were developed based on maximum liability exposure, and 2025 results continued the city's pattern of responsible cost control in this area. In 2025, all departments operated within their approved budgets, maintaining disciplined spending practices. Many non-payroll operating expenses were held at or near prior year levels, with increases approved only for clearly defined operational needs. The City Administration and Budget Commission continued their shared goal of limiting non-payroll growth until additional funding is justified by specific service or operational requirements. As a result of these efforts, the general fund finished 2025 with an unencumbered cash balance of approximately $8.26 million and a total fund balance of $8.51 million after accounting for encumbrances. This represents an increase of approximately $151,000 over the beginning of the year balance, further reinforcing the city's long-term financial stability. Looking ahead to goals for 26 and initiatives, we're looking at building a financial stability maintained in recent years. The city will continue to focus on enhancing services while preserving fiscal responsibility. Key priorities include continued investment in street infrastructure maintenance, ensuring safety forces have the resources necessary to effectively serve the community, expanding the use of digital solutions to improve our operations, support economic development, business attraction, and sustain revenue growth. Ongoing monitoring of the healthcare costs, capital expenditures, and overall financial stability.
Okay. The way it stands now, we're in very good shape. That's, with 25, the city is in good shape. We have good staff. My main goal when I took this over is a bit unusual, but I wanted to make sure that everybody who came in here, whether it was an employee, a supervisor, a citizen, that they be treated kindly, and we can say no and still be nice. We don't have to have problems. And that is front and center as far as I'm concerned. And you have to work at that. You do have to work at that, but I don't change the expectation with that. There's no reason to be uncivil over these things. Now, people do come in and they're upset, and that's fine. They want to talk to me. As you all know, my door is open. If I'm not with somebody else, you're welcome to come in. And then we resolve the problems with that. The fact that everybody live within their budget is key to this. And as we set the new budget this year, I'm not as optimistic as I was in 25. I'm concerned that if we end up with a recession, that it's going to be very tight, and we may have to take other measures with that. I'm not buying trouble. The way we are set right now, we are set in a good position, good shape with it. But things change. If you think we really don't have problems that we can't solve at this point in time, but we monitor the money regularly, and by regularly I mean almost every day, just to watch to see if we're heading into a problem with that. But I can't say enough about the staff that I have. I'm very fortunate. The success that I have here is due to the people that work here, and I deeply appreciate that. I want to thank you for sitting through this tonight with me, and I'm going to turn this back over to Rob so he can restore order.
Thank you for that. Okay, thank you for that thorough report on the state of the city. We'll take a short break so that the mayor and I can switch places. Chelsea, if you could mute everybody, and then we'll come back and address the agenda for the committee of the whole meeting. Yeah, make sure you get your mic back in, please.
No, and I didn't do mine.
Okay.
Bigger, but.
All right, everyone. I'd like to call us back into session to continue with the Committee of the Whole agenda. Okay, the first item on our agenda is approval of the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes of February 17th. You should have all received those minutes. Does anybody have any modifications, additions to those minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bless you.
Okay, the next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for the school resource officer. This is from Public Health and Safety. Ms. Michael?
Yes, this is, we changed employees for this position, so it's changing the name with the contract. We just had a recent change, so we talked about it in committee. Nothing really additional to discuss other than changing the name.
Any questions or concerns about this item?
I'm glad there's a second one being in position because I know I'll just say critical and leave it at that.
Any other comments or questions? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance. Consent.
Consent agenda?
Yep.
All right, the next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids for the 2026 annual striping program. This is from Streets and Sidewalks. Mr. Harper?
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. We do this every year, and it's just advertising bids for all of our pavement markings in the city streets.
Are we going to stripe the rack parking lot?
Next year.
Okay, all right.
We get one more year out of the budget for an overhaul for the parking lot.
Oh, okay, an overall. Great. Okay, any questions or concerns about this item? What is the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Yes.
Consent.
Consent
Yes.
agenda? All right, the next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids for the King Street Water Line Project. This is also Streets and Sidewalks, Mr. Harper?
Again, pretty much just what it says. It's just a lot authorizing the mayor to advertise bids for the project.
Questions, concerns? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Would you like to put this in the consent agenda?
Yes.
Consensus.
So I think we're.
Is anybody who does not wish to put something in the consent agenda, please voice your objection. All right, the next item is an ordinance authorizing the placement of 30-minute parking signs. So it's 30-minute parking signs, not 30-minute parking
You could
signs.
only park here for 1 minute.
This is also from Streets and Sidewalk, Mr. Harper.
Yeah, this was brought forward by some business owners to council. A business that utilizes short-term parking rather than long-term parking was inquiring if we could put short-term parking signs in front of a couple businesses on that block. Again, this is nothing new. There's some in front of the Etna House. There's short-term parking right in front of Guido's where they usually can run in and pick up food and go. There's a couple other spots in the downtown area where these signs are as well. So this would just be the addition of one sign with 2 short-term parking spaces.
Mr. Harper, after last week's meeting, this idea was kind of new to me that we had some areas with these 30-minute parkings and other, and people are requesting them. So a kind of a very brief survey of downtown showed that we have about 19 of them, 19 spots in different places. And like you said, most of them are a single sign pointing to 2 spaces, but there's like 3 places, I think, that it's just a single sign over a parking space. Most blocks have at least 2 spots. Some blocks have no spots. And the lady that's requesting him, that's in a block where there are no spots.
Currently, no signs.
Yeah, another street is between Merriman and Sycamore. There's no spots, 30-minute parking spots there. That's where that X Cuts is, the new haircut place down there. And so I'm in favor of it. It's a simple request. I guess as we look at the rest of the spots downtown that may be short on 30 minutes parking spots, do we just wait for people in that block to ask for them? I don't know. On this particular request, I'm all for it moving forward, but I don't know.
I do have a clarification, and I apologize, because when we talked about this in council, I was reading from our code, and I was reading from the chapter on parking, specifically 45219, which mentions that all parking in the central district is a 2-hour limit. I apologize because I neglected to look further down at 45221D, because it states, and this kind of answers your question, 30-minute express parking spaces shall be permitted in the central business district upon request of the business owner to the service director and upon approval of city council. And I guess this was passed in 2012. So it is something we can enforce.
And this request did come through the service director.
Yeah, so we unknowingly followed the procedure to the letter. My only question, though, is we're going to make it 2, because there was some discussion about just 1 parking space.
should be 2.
We're going to make 2, right?
We were looking at 2 spaces.
Okay.
Well, I believe what Mr. Karas is referring to as 2 signs.
No, 2 spaces, whether it's a 1 sign is fine.
One sign in the middle.
Okay, with arrows
Indicating
pointing in
2
different
spaces.
directions.
Okay, any other questions or concerns about this item? What is the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Consent?
Consent.
Consent, okay. All right, the next item is an authorization to amend ordinance 2026-21, authorizing the replacement of MMCs at the water plant. And I think, Mr. Semino, are you here to address this one?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you take it away.
This is the orders we have those challenges with as far as the agreement that was to be entered into. We've gotten a new agreement, proposal from them. It's styled differently. It has different portions of it in terms of scope of work to be done, specifically setting forth what they're going to be doing. I think attached to it are the 5 panels that are to be addressed during that, and the scope of work addresses each one of those panels as it goes through, and they're identified at the bottom of each picture of those particular panels. We've been in contact with the Crescent Electric Supply. So when we dealt with Schneider, they indicated that they really don't do contracts. That they go ahead and put together these proposals. They send them off to Crescent, and Crescent then contacts the municipality with the proposals presented or prepared by Schneider. And when you look to the agreement that's attached to this, the proposal, it is broken down into the 5 different panels that are required, specifically sets forth what the scope of the work is on each of those panels, and says what they're going to be doing in relation to that. And so I went ahead and put a signature line down there for the mayor to sign. We then checked again with Crescent, and apparently that's the procedures that they follow. Everything gets sent from Schneider's to Crescent. Crescent then sends out the proposal as the document that we have. And then we basically deal with Crescent from that point. Because Crescent apparently has all of the parts and pieces that Schneider makes. They supply them to the project, and then Crescent is the one who sends out the billing for not only the parts, but also the service that Schneider does. So it's kind of a unique setup, and apparently this is the way they did it. So what we've done is we've attached to the ordinance the proposal that's to be executed by the mayor. We've attached the 5 pictures of the panels that are to be addressed. We've also attached, there's a statement at the end that deals with Schneider's supposedly terms and conditions. It sets forth what they do. It's 4 pages, and it deals with the contracts that they enter into. So I I think it's about as complete as documentation that we can find to make this, I think, as far as I'm concerned, acceptable for us to move forward.
And I'll make a comment pertaining to that. These panels are replacing the originals that were installed in '83.
The only other thing I would say is, the ordinance that's in front of you, attached in the back, and it should really has no bearing on it, but there is the original one that was forwarded. It's got original version across the front of it. So that no longer is the one that should be addressed. The one that's on top now is the one that should be moved forward as a replacement amendment to the original ordinance.
Correct. So procedurally, we're replacing the text of ordinance 2026-21, and in your packets, you have the original, which only allocated 200,000, and then the new one, which allocates more than 275,000, along with the attached documentation. So we don't need to authorize a new ordinance, we just need approval to make this switch. And then this will be on the special meeting for a third reading at the special meeting following this meeting. We get a motion to make that change to replace the ordinance text?
I'll make a motion to make that change to this ordinance that was just.
Oh, this,
Yes.
Rob,
Ms.
can I
Lawrence?
also, the account number that's on here is actually not where it should be appropriated.
that last whereas?
Yeah, she originally had put a small caps appropriation, and that is where we did the first MCC work from. That's not the right account number.
Well, at this point, you can just go ahead and change it.
Is it okay
Right.
to do
Put the
that?
correct number in there, and you haven't read it on first reading, so you just make that change and you go forward with reading. When
Would you
get
like
to
that
it.
number?
When you get to it. So you should just provide everyone with it.
It's still 670-675, which is water capital, but it is 56965. That's the small cap number.
Just for clarification, can we change it now, or do we have to wait until
Well, I
it's
think we're
being
accepting
read?
the amendment, so I think the amendment should be accurate. And so
Okay.
if that's what's good, that's the way it should read,
Okay.
put it in there now.
There's your,
Paul, would you like to include this account number update in your proposed amendment?
Yes, definitely.
okay.
Thank you.
We have a second to Mr. Moskin's
I will
motion.
second that, yeah.
Let's have a roll call, just for the heck of it.
Oh,
Tyler?
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, so that item stands approved for that change. We'll move on to the next item in the agenda. An ordinance approving the emergency water line repair at the wastewater treatment plant. This is from Utilities Committee. Mr. Moskin?
Yes, this is an emergency because this had ruptured just recently, and it's a critical part of the operation of the wastewater treatment plant.
Are there any questions or concerns about this particular item? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
Consent.
Yes.
Consent.
All right, the next ordinance is an ordinance repealing ordinance 2026-46 and authorizing a new electric aggregation agreement. This is from the Utilities Committee. Mr. Moskin.
Yes, I would like to ask Mr. Bellish to come up with a guaranteed rate that we can agree upon.
Yes, good evening, Council. Tom Bellish from Buckeye Energy Brokers. Appreciate the opportunity to work with the city. So tonight, we have several options for consideration. So there's a 12-month at $984, 13 at $963, 18 months is $962, 24 months is $960. That's the lowest one. We also have the 25-month at $962. That would buy us another month of time, so that would end in June, and then we would have the month of April in 2028 to look at new rate. This winter has been very difficult to buy energy. We had a very cold winter, so we couldn't buy early. And then with the war in the Middle East, that didn't help at all either. And rates have been kind of firm. So we were watching the market to come down to the approved number, 9.5. It never did. We watched it every day. And so right now, we're at the 9.62 for the 25-month period.
Okay, and I have a question for you. If we do agree on a price tonight, and the price changes as an example tomorrow like it could, would the price that would be agreed on tonight stand firm?
So the market, so these prices, the deadline for those prices were 4 o'clock today. So we would have to get new prices. In the past, I know the first 12 years we've had this program, it was a guaranteed savings program, and we never set a fixed price. We didn't have to worry about this. And then other suppliers would hold their price for a week or so, and we never had to worry about it. And last year, I think we just got lucky. The market didn't go up. It just didn't go up when we just locked in the next day. So this year was the year that it didn't work out for us. First time that's ever happened. So we would normally just have either not to exceed number or just have council authorize the selected supplier, and then we just do the contract administratively the next morning. So.
Yeah, so we need to have some level of specificity before council can move this on for authorization by the mayor. And so in your packets for the special meeting, because this will be on the special, assuming it gets moved forward, we've changed the structure of the ordinance to include a ceiling. And the second whereas will say the mayor to sign an agreement up to, and that's something we want to decide. We could either decide now, or we could amend it on the fly at the special meeting. So right now, the largest amount is 9.62. We could make it a little higher than that, 9.8 or something. That way we don't run into this problem. We got to keep coming back if it went up overnight.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Really quick. Why the difference between 24th month and 25th month? I guess
the advantage is we would be renewing. We would also have the month of April to renew. So there's basically a 2-month lead time. So
So it's just giving us more time to take
it would
a look
allow us more time. It would get us away from the winter months of
Sure.
trying to strike a price during the winter. Spring and fall are good times to buy energy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's an important consideration because it goes up. Normally you expect to go, the longer it's going to go down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so we could, it's up to council. We could choose the 24-month. Now, your advice is to go 25 because of the timing?
Timing is helpful. It's
But-
so close either way, I think.
Yeah, I would-
Work well. Ohio Edison's price is projected to be over 10 cents this June. So there's going to be savings either way. I know this is a big increase from the current rate, but all the capacity costs have gone up, so everyone's rates are going up again this year. So it's really a wash. I like lower prices.
It would give us an extra month. This term would end a month early, but we'd be able to start looking at
earlier.
rates
Yeah.
at a month earlier. So I would suggest a 24-month. Now, the ordinance that we are considering originally ran from May 2026 through June 2028. We'd have to amend this new ordinance, which would be 2026-55, again in your packets, to read, if you chose the 24-month, through May 2028, and then in that second whereas, that ceiling amount. What a, silence.
That's the question. What's the ceiling amount going to be?
Well,
9.7.
I mean, is it going to be 10?
I
Is
was
it
thinking
going to be?
9.7 as well.
9.7.
This gives us a bit of a comfortable buffer.
do you think that's enough of a buffer?
Yeah, so I've been watching it all winter here, so like the biggest day was maybe 1/10 of a cent or more.
But just remember, we could set it at 10. That doesn't mean we're going to pay 10. That's the ceiling. We're going to pay whatever the rate is tomorrow, assuming it's under that ceiling. So if you make it 9.7 and it goes 9.72, we're back here.
Yeah, but if we set it at 10 and it's
No.
10, then we're stuck with 10.
Well, that's true, but I'm saying maybe a little more buffer, like 9.8. That's what I was saying, just for a little extra comfort. It doesn't push the price up, it just ensures we won't be back here.
I was
trying to
just kind of
negotiate.
looking at the average of the 12th month to the 25th month, what it was, and that's kind of why I based the 9.7, but 9.8 works too.
Agreed.
25 months, though, or 24 months?
So could we get a motion to amend the proposed ordinance to run through May 2028 and change the second whereas to hit a ceiling of 9.8 cents per kilowatt hour for the agreed upon rate for the contract period, again, from May 2026 through May 2028?
I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
Okay, let's have a roll call.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Calfee?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
All right. So given that change, what is the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
And again, it's on the special, so there's no consideration of placing it on the consent agenda.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bellish. We appreciate your help and your coming here tonight. All right, the next item on the agenda is a resolution to form an ad hoc committee to review ward redistricting. This is from the planning committee. Ms. Lodato?
Yes, this is something that we discussed coming out of the presentation that was last week from the League of Women Voters, that Ravenna experiences a voter deviation that is some of the most disproportionate in the state of Ohio, not just around here regionally. Typically looking for a standard deviation of around 10 to 12. Ours is above 60% deviated, particularly impacting Mr. Harper's ward, Ward 3. You have 1,000 plus at least deviation than any other ward in the city. So we wanted to move forward with an ad hoc committee that was going to look into creating a process that would be open and transparent to the city with opportunities for feedback about redrawing those district lines within the city. I've actually been in contact with Professor Jen Mapes at Kent State University. She's also a member of the League of Women Voters, but she is a specialist in GIS mapping and loves to do things. She's helped with another project that they did in a similar scenario to Ravenna, and she said she expressed interest in being on the ad hoc committee, so I would really love it if we could move forward with this as a resolution to form this ad hoc committee.
Okay. Any suggestions or anybody volunteering to be a member of
I'm
this?
happy to help. I was talked with Sherry myself, and since I know the city pretty well myself, I would like to sit on that committee.
I can be involved.
Did you have a target number of members for this committee?
I would honestly, I think 5 would be good for this. I mean, if you get too many people, it's hard to get things done.
Yes.
Were you solely considering council members?
No, because I would like Professor Mapes,
Oh,
who's going to be.
okay,
Absolutely.
oh, okay, good.
And I think the League of Women Voters
absolutely.
was also talking about being a part of this, since they are the ones that have, and I think Bob has been so busy, I would hate to bother him with that, but somebody
would too.
maybe from the building department, maybe one of the assistant city engineer might be able to help with that.
It's population-based.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty basic.
Someone's gonna have to come up with an equivalent population, and we'll draw the map, that's
Yeah.
not a problem. We need to be told how to draw it.
But in general, as far as talking about, council and ward council people, generally, the ward council person versus the at-large, there's no difference. I think the only thing that it's really going to define is voting in that particular area where one ward may have less voters, where now that ward will have a fair amount of voters, is ultimately what I think you're going to accomplish versus when we use a scenario where you have this many people you're responsible for. I really don't feel that that's an accurate way of putting it, because again, how this body has been run for years, it's not really, I don't see it being as like a number thing on that, in that part of it. I think it's more gearing on the voting percentages of it, personally.
Well, I mean, from a campaign end, I'd rather knock on 800 doors than 2,500, but, I mean.
Well, that's what I
So-
mean, it all goes back to voting.
When you
So-
talk about the voters in each.
We've kind of got three. You, obviously, I believe, should certainly be
Yes.
part of this effort. Is Michael, Mr. Moskin, and then maybe a couple other people.
Somebody from the League of Women
yeah.
Voters, and then Professor Mapes.
All right, so let's have those names sort of under consideration as we move this forward.
And if anybody, I mean, honestly, even if we could add one more, if they're, like, just for a place marker, if there's somebody in the audience, somebody from the community who's interested, because like I said, I'm interested in making this a transparent process as we could possibly do.
Well, and I think as.
Mr. Selenius, you interested?
Okay. And I think we want to make this transparent in the sense that we probably want public comment, maybe
Yes.
some special meetings set up with this committee and the public
Yes.
to not only inform them, but maybe get some input from them.
And I mean, I think we'll all be learning too, because this, for the league, they've done this one other time successfully, but I feel like we're all kind of, learning from that experience, but also how it applies to Ravenna.
Right.
Agreed.
Any other comments?
It's going to be a big process because it's going to involve, as we know, the sliding of lines up and down. It's almost like bus routes where you get the kids from, and by moving a line a block away, you pick up more kids. It's, with 1 and 4 being small and 2 and 3 being larger, if we could slide lines from one ward down to the other, it could be pretty easily accomplished depending on the numbers. So those are some of the dynamics that are going to go into it. And I have interest in attending the committee, but I'll just attend as a watcher,
Yeah, same here.
commenter.
I like
Yeah,
your
okay.
transportation
I'm
outdoor too.
sorry.
And we want to get this done ideally by the end of this calendar year.
Right, we're too late to do anything to affect any election in this year. So, but we do have to make sure, I think mid-December would be our target timeframe to have concluded that process for the primary in '27.
All right. Okay, what is the pleasure of the committee?
Resolution.
Resolution. And we will keep this, did I miss one?
And we're lucky, by the way, the League
thought
of
we
Women
did that.
Voters of Kent is the largest League of Women Voters chapter in Ohio.
Very
And
active,
the
too.
president of that chapter is also the Ohio Development Director for the League of Women Voters. So we have a lot of local experts that we can lean on.
So we won't put this in the consent agenda because we were going to have to finalize membership.
It has to list the names. We have to list the
Well,
names
we
in
have,
the
we have to,
resolution.
we have to establish the committee
Okay.
one
I
way or
didn't- I
another.
didn't know that you
And by
had
the way,
to
we
have their
don't,
actual
we don't
names.
necessarily need a resolution. The president of council can appoint members. I'd rather do this in a more diplomatic or democratic way.
Okay.
But we do want, if we're going to have a resolution, we want the resolution to state who's going to be on the
Okay,
committee.
so by the next meeting,
Well,
have a
we're
list.
going to put this on, yeah, on the April regular meeting. We just won't put it in the consent agenda. Correct me if I'm wrong, because, did I miss one? Did I miss number 7?
No,
No.
For the wastewater treatment plant?
No, that,
we did it.
we spoke about that, and that was agreed upon.
I thought we did it. I marked
I
it.
even wrote a note on their
That was
consent.
Yeah,
finished,
I think we're okay.
We talked about it.
yes.
Okay,
it's been a long night.
I know. Let's keep it going. We're almost there.
We got this.
All right, next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the summer food program. This is from planning, Ms. Lodato.
Okay, so this is something that's done every year, so we're just looking for a continuation of that. I don't think anything more needs to be added to this.
Yeah, this is something we do every year. It's pretty much the same every year. Any questions or concerns?
No.
What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance,
and
consent.
Yes.
All right, the next item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to approve a contract with Triad and appropriating $10,000. This is from Planning Committee. Ms. Lodato, are you familiar with this? This was thrown out there. I don't believe it went through Planning Committee.
No, it did not. But I would like to state that I thought this was an addition because it was something separate than what we've discussed. I'm like, if this is more than the $60,000, but it's not. Okay, but there's still a few problems that I find with this contract that I feel Mr. Semino, I know we've discussed with the last contract, there were a few things in the contract that violated the Ohio Revised Code as in terms of public records. There cannot be a section that information is kept confidential. These items that we are purchasing belong to the taxpayers because that's who's paying for it. We made that adjustment in the prior contract we did. For whatever reason, this contract did not keep that same language. It's also missing the indemnification clause that we added into the last contract. Furthermore, the other things we're paying for, which is going to be the 2 quarter-page Record Courier ads, that is the only newspaper. However, I think that an ad in the Portager would be prudent because many people read that one because it's free. So I feel like just, and no offense, I know the Record Courier's out there, but, you know, I think in addition to what we were planning to do for the Record Courier also needs to be in the Portager. So if we could amend the contract to reflect the legal protections that we had in place during in the first contract.
Well, that may take some time because we can't arbitrarily
Well,
on
we
one
can't
side.
pass something that's against the public records.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't really, I assumed the contract was the same as the one we got
Me
before.
too. We just got it, Friday. I
Yeah.
didn't have time to look
And-
through it.
And by the way,
compare.
this is being forwarded from the committee that's been working on our marketing efforts to make sure that the city is providing an informational
Carmen,
campaign.
Would you be able to put something maybe in?
Well,
an
they just
email?
need to use the language from the first
In
contract
all
that
honesty,
we
that should not
amended
be
and
hard,
passed.
right?
Yeah.
It should not be hard.
Okay.
It's already
Yep.
there.
Yeah, we've
Right.
already passed one of them that way, so it's just it fell through the cracks maybe.
But
They just went
I-
ahead and defaulted back to the one that
Right,
was
but
an issue. from
here's my concern. I don't know that, this is a contract they've offered us.
Right.
And in the past, when this happened before, we said, no, you have to make these changes. They made the changes and they resubmitted the contract. I don't know that we can change their contract and the mayor sign it. I mean, I don't know if if they'll even agree to that.
I think we
But
can
if it's
just
not
discuss it
legal,
with
they
them.
might be
No,
willing to
my
change
point
it.
is, we might have to just not move this on,
Because it's a different
ask Triad to make the changes, and then review this again, I guess, in April.
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, that
I
puts
hate
our
doing that because of the
campaign.
timeline, but I mean, to be honest with you, that's like, it's kind of amateur night to be giving us a contract where we had so many issues before that they would present us with a contract with the exact same flaws in it that we worked so hard to correct last time.
They may be using software that has some standardized components that put that in, and it might have just
Right.
been an
That's what I
oversight as
mean.
well.
You know, in all
And it
honesty,
might just be
with the
chunked
ease
in.
that they had to change it before, I can't see
Yeah.
any issue
So-
about them changing it now. get it back to where it was
Right.
when we did it. Because I think this is an argument we're wasting our time on.
So can we just
They'll
move
do
it forward and,
Well, yeah, just move
But
it
if we
forward with
move-
the changes and then,
Well, then we have to go through and write the changes. We can't just tell
Why?
them, because,
can't we,
Well,
this
okay.
is what I'm not understanding, Rob.
Because
If
it's-
they
it-
fixed it before, why couldn't they fix it again?
because it's on the special meeting tonight. And if we don't have the contract because it's still under negotiation, then we can't approve it. We can't approve the mayor to sign something we haven't agreed to.
So can we move it to the first of the month meeting instead of having it on the special this evening?
You could, sure.
So
That's
it-
true.
So it gives us, that's kind of what I'm thinking, so it gives us some time to get the information, and it's only it's not as far off as.
Well, that's what I was saying. I
And
mean,
add the
that we can do
furniture.
that. I'm just saying we can't approve it tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, it just, it has to be done, because I don't want to leave the city exposed for
Carmen,
legal
I would say
risk.
this to you. We didn't have any challenges getting those changes before.
Yeah.
I believe that it's just the way that program is set in their computer, whatever it is, that they spit it out that way. So I think all we have to do is bring it to their attention. We should get this resolved, all right?
So it could be on for the first meeting in April? Okay, and then
Yes.
maybe make a recommendation that they add the portager
I agree.
to that?
exactly.
Add or replace?
Add,
Yeah.
Add.
because they had,
That may influence the cost.
I mean, if we're paying $2,500 of this to consulting fees, I mean, we should get
Well-
a bang for our buck. I think it needs to go into the portager too.
Here's
Yeah.
another thing, we're paying, you said 2,500 a month. If we pass this in April, it will only be 1 month. Right? I was concerned that they were charging us for a full month, even if we passed it tonight.
Yeah.
Well, then it
All I
would be
say
less.
is, let me try to contact them tomorrow and get it resolved, all right?
thank you,
Be done with it.
that
Okay.
works.
Then, is it the pleasure of the committee to move this on with the anticipation that these changes will be made?
Can we do that? Is that a legal procedure?
Yeah, as long as we don't vote on it, because it's going to be
We're
on
not
the
voting on
agenda
it.
for
Okay,
the
so
special
yes, then
meeting, that
yes.
we're going to have to take it off
Okay.
or leave it on first reading. But we need, because we need to make these changes before we approve it.
Correct.
But we still need approval by the.
Tammy, you say you got that on Friday? Tammy,
Yes, it came on
send
Friday.
me a copy, please, all right?
So we do need authorization because it didn't go through a committee to move this on to the April agenda. So what's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance,
Ordinance.
And not place it in
Non-consent.
consent.
not consent.
Okay, moving on. The next item is an ordinance authorizing the 2026 permanent budget. We actually talked about this in the Finance Committee. Ms. Lawrence, I know there was a late change you wanted to make about $1,000 or,
Yeah, that was just an account line in the council budget. I had put it in your guys' supply lines, and it was meant to be for the training and education line for council. So just wanted to make that official for the budget. But how this is our permanent budget housekeeping item, I think I talked to Carmen quite a bit last week. She stopped by on Friday, and we went over a lot of things. Rob, we went through a good portion of this at the commission meeting. If anybody else has any questions, but we just need to get this passed into the county by April 1st.
questions or concerns?
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to go over all of that with me. So very helpful.
Do not have questions or concerns at this time. Just the comment that I'd like to make on the budget. It's a great thing that our revenues are so solid for the budget for this year. It's been an excellent year, and we look forward to an excellent year coming up in 2026 for the budget. However, I do want to mention that in this budget, in the general fund, we're overspending our expenditures versus our revenue by about $1 million, so that our general fund carryover balance is going to be reduced about 18%. So in a single year, that's a large cut into the general fund budget. I believe it's justified. I believe that we have great things in the budget this year. The budget includes a total of about $1,300,000 in salary increases for the people, for our city. And so I think that's really good. But as we also look at the total budget, not just the general fund, we're going to be in a position where our revenue is going to projected to be about 33 million and our expenditures 36 million. So it's going to be expenditures of about 3 million over our revenue in our total budget. So I'm
Typically, the actuals come in
Yes.
more favorable, but we'll see this year with our
Yes.
salary increases that we talked about.
Yeah. So I'm just wanting to mention this, to call it to our attention. I think our budgets that we have provided for all of our departments are very generous right now, and I think that we need to keep within the budgets that we have established for all of our departments. And as Tammy says, with continued focus on responsible spending, no deficits are projected. I agree. I just want us to be alerted that deficit spending is not sustainable over multiple years.
So with that being said, Mr. Calfee, I know there are some positions that do still, I feel, need addressed. And I also know that there might be a creation of another new position that might be coming before in your committee. With these things that we're still facing that still need addressed, do we think that you had made the comment about the money that we're spending, for Main Street, and the chamber is not being, a lot of money to be spent currently. With that being said, with the money that we still might need to spend with this extra new position or possibly fixing some of our other positions, how does that lie with our budget?
Can I make a comment about that with the positions? Because this is one thing Tammy and I talked about, because a great portion of it is salary, but there's some things that are going to be a one-time cost that we are not going to have built into what those new positions meant in terms of like needing to get new equipment for the new officers and things. That's added, I mean, when we did the numbers, that was added into it. So that's not something that we would have to pay for every time. But initially, upfront, yes.
Because it makes me nervous if we're going to be spending money, I mean, if we're giving money away to other agencies and we still have some housekeeping issues internally, how is that perception going to look, is just my question.
Well, my response to it is not complete, but the city has to continue to operate as there are some changes in personnel. Just like every year that we've had, there have been some changes that have needed to be made in personnel. I'm just saying we've really got to be aware of the dollars as we move forward. Yes, there may be some changes, as you say, an additional person here or there. However, as we're saying, we need new supplies or new equipment for new personnel, that should be budgeted in those accounts. The police budget itself has gone up over $1 million from last year to this next year, and the fire department over $700,000. So in those amounts that are in there, I'm hoping that there's sufficient money to cover those additional costs. If not, we may need to just move money around within those budgets to address those needs.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
But I appreciate all the work on the budget. I think it's excellent. We've got the money. Let's move forward. It's going to be really good. We just need to watch, I think.
Thank you, Dr. Caulfield. We discussed this overall with the budget. It wasn't, we all want to see more and more and more, but you have to really keep yourself constantly in check of what's sustainable.
Responsible
Because
growth, yeah.
what we could afford this year is not sustainable going forward.
Any other questions or comments? All right. With regarding this item, what is the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
Okay, this will be on the special following the committee of the whole meeting. Okay, next item, ordinance authorizing the execution of then and now certificates. This has been added to the committee of the whole agenda by the finance director. Ms. Lawrence?
Yeah, this is our monthly then and now certificates. We've got a fairly long list again this time. A lot of these are one-time renewals, a few emergency things that happened. And we need to certify them for the audit requirements.
Questions about this item?
Concrete.
What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
Ordinance?
Ordinance consent.
And consent agenda. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Next item is Main Street event, Ravenna, a request for $60,000. This comes from the committee, Community and Economic Development Committee. Ms. West?
Yes, so we have talked about this quite a few times. This is a request from Main Street Ravenna for a 2-year agreement for $60,000 as they continue to support the city of Ravenna and our downtown. Questions?
Questions or concerns about this item?
Yes, I have more than one.
Go ahead.
I'd like to know what the first pertaining to Main Street representatives now, if this goes through, when would the director be pursued?
Come on up.
Yes.
This is you.
This is me.
Okay,
If this goes through, what we would do is we would immediately start taking a look at our old job description, make sure that still holds, and we get it out as soon as we could. Believe me, there's nobody in here who wants this done more than I do. So we've got a reason to push it through. We also want to make sure, though, that we get somebody who's going to do the job we want to have done. So it will take, an idea on getting them in, be able to review them and see what they're like. So I can't tell you if it'll take 2 weeks or take 8 weeks. Depends on what comes in.
so what type of a search geographical area would that individual be looked at?
Well, we looked at this last time. I'm sorry, I don't have it right on the top of my head, but it was across northeastern Ohio, and we also have people from southern Ohio who sent stuff in, I believe. So it'll be wide enough. We're not going to be spending money to relocate people here, but if there are people who want to come to this area, then, we're not going to throw them out because they're from North Carolina. So the funny thing about those job things is they go all over the place, right?
Sure.
So it'll be as big as they come out.
Any other
Okay.
questions?
Yes, I have,
Fire
this
away.
for the mayor. My question is, just what are your thoughts on this? Because if I'm not mistaken, we've had your input in the past of the money that we've given to these nonprofits.
Thank you, Mike.
It's probably not close enough.
There you go.
Caught me. I'm saying that they need that amount to make this work, but I think that you're talking about this one specifically or both?
Well, at this particular minute, this one specifically, and I know you've given your comments pertaining to the chamber as well when it comes to that.
Well, if they're going to be here, I want them to be successful.
Thank you.
So,
Do you have any other
Okay,
questions,
okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Luskin? Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Barber or anybody else?
Thank you, Mr. Barber.
Thank you.
Okay. What is the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance,
Ordinance.
and not consent.
Since it's going to be on special.
All right, the last item on our agenda for the Committee of the Whole is a donation to the Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $40,000. This is from Community and Economic Development, Ms. West.
So we talked about this earlier this evening. This is a $40,000 donation to the Chamber of Commerce to support what they are doing, to support businesses, and to support our Ravenna community. This is a 2-year ask as well, correct? I'm looking back. Okay, this is a 2-year ask as well for them. Questions? Mayor, are you in support of this one as well? Paul, I asked your question for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes, I am all in favor of that. I believe scholarships are, sometimes they can be an enticement for juniors and seniors in high school. I believe this is a very big asset in this manner. So I'm all sold out on this idea as well, by itself.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments or questions? What's the pleasure of the committee?
Ordinance. And then not consent, please.
Okay, that concludes the business we have before the Committee of the Whole tonight. So I will adjourn the Committee of the Whole meeting, and immediately, because I know we're running a little late, start the special meeting of council for tonight, March 23rd. Ms. Greger, could you please read the announcement?
You are hereby notified that a special meeting of Ravenna City Council has been called for Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. or immediately following the Committee of the Whole meeting, which begins at 6 p.m. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss and or act upon Ordinance 2026-21, authorizing the replacement of equipment in the water treatment plant. Ordinance 2026-54, approving the 2026 permanent budget. Ordinance 2026-55, to enter into a new electric aggregation agreement. And Ordinance 2026-56, to enter into a contract with Triad Communications Incorporated.
And could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kelfi?
Here.
Ms. West?
Here.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Here.
Mr. Maravich?
Here.
Ms. Michael?
Here.
Mr. Harper?
Here.
Okay, we will begin with ordinance number 2026-21.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Schneider Electric pursuant to the quotation of February 25th, 2026, for the replacement of motor control contactors within the water treatment plant and appropriating $275,780.58 from Fund 670.675.56965 and declaring an emergency.
Okay, so note that we did get the correct
Yes.
fund in there.
Good,
Yes,
very
thank
good.
you.
Yes.
Okay, this is sponsored by Utilities. Mr. Moskin?
Yes, this is something that's very critical, and it needs to be done as soon as they can get started because of a big thing, the safety factor. And as old as it is in an industrial fashion.
Okay, any questions or concerns? This item, I believe, this is our third reading, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't need to suspend the 3 separate readings. Do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
All right, that ordinance stands approved. The next order, I'm sorry?
Just one thing.
Go ahead.
On page 18 of the document, there should be a signature line there for the mayor to sign, so if you could put that on there. And also, on the last page of the terms and conditions of Snyder, signature line for the mayor to sign.
Okay.
We'll make sure that happens. Thank you, Mr. Semino. Okay, the next item, ordinance number 2026-54.
An ordinance authorizing the appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ravenna, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this is sponsored by the Finance Committee and Ms. Lawrence, who so skillfully put together our budget for this year. We've discussed it. Committee, we've discussed it here, the Committee of the Whole. Are there any other further questions, concerns about the permanent budget?
Nope.
No further questions.
Okay. In that case, can we get a motion to suspend the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And can we get a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
That ordinance stands approved. The next ordinance is ordinance number 2026-55.
An ordinance repealing ordinance 2026-46 passed on March 2nd, 2026, and authorizing the mayor to enter into an aggregation renewal agreement with Dynergy to supply electricity to Ravenna City residents for the period May 2026 through May 2028, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this is from the Utilities Committee, Mr. Moskin.
Yes, we did approve a ceiling price of 9.8. That's on the condition that it does not go any higher than that by tomorrow morning.
Okay, and just so we're clear in that explanation, it'll be a fixed price for the 24-month period. Today's price was 9.6 cents per kilowatt hour. We're setting a ceiling of 9.8, so hopefully it could still be 9.6, or even lower, who knows, maybe it'll go down. 24 months.
As intended.
Yeah, May,
It was actually more expensive with 25.
yeah, it's May 2026 through May 2028. All right. Any other questions or concerns?
I would just like to encourage people listening to this meeting to check out Apples to Apples, because you can definitely beat the aggregate rates if you go look online and do some research.
Yep, and that is through the Public Utility Commission of Ohio, also known as PUCO.
Okay, thank you for those public announcements. Do you have a motion to suspend the 3 separate readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Lodato?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
Okay, that ordinance stands approved. Our next ordinance is ordinance number 2026-56.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Triad Communications Incorporated for marketing of the proposed income tax increase and appropriating $10,000 from the general fund and declaring an emergency.
It's sponsored by Planning, Ms. Lodato.
Okay, well, I mean, we went through this. I think there definitely, it's not an I think, it needs to be amended to reflect being compliant with the Ohio Revised Code. And I would also like to see if we're going along with amending things to add a portager ad.
Okay. Ms. Lawrence, can you communicate that to Triad?
Yeah, I pulled up both of them, both of the contracts, and I'm trying to go back and forth between the two. So I may ask you to look at this with me, Carmen, briefly after the meeting to see, and I did forward it to Mr. Semino as well.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will leave this for another reading in April. Mr. Selenius, you have something to contribute this late. Oh, What, you can't talk about what?
It is on the special.
Are you talking about this?
Yes.
Oh, he's talking about this. Is that okay?
Can't,
I'll let him. Go ahead.
can't you authorize the mayor to sign a contract as written by the city of Ravenna if the other party would agree?
Yeah, a lot of conditions there. I would, unfortunately, they drafted the contract. I mean, it's a valid question, I appreciate that, and I made that suggestion. It's just, it's kind of late for us to be, writing another counter offer, and then we don't know for sure that they'd agree to it, so a lot of ifs there. I appreciate the comment. I wanted to read something before we move on, and this, I just want to make sure that what we're talking about tonight, this item, which we will keep for a second reading in April, is regarding, marketing an informational campaign, providing facts about the conditions of our current facilities and facts about what a new facility might provide. But I wanted to read this. Council is aware that a public action committee has been formed related to the upcoming ballot issue. Any information regarding that organization will be communicated independently by that group, not by the city. All right, with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes.
Thanks, everyone, for sticking it out for this long. We will be back in session in April.